I love that. He's like, let's trigger some cortisol and adrenaline to get her to not cheat on me. It's just so funny. He's doing such a great job on this channel. Welcome back to another Reacts Raw video where I'm about to watch a video I've never seen that my producers have picked out for me. Today it is Dan Henschel doing bad TikTok advice for emotional health. He is hilarious. Come with me and let's check it out.
This is how I trick my brain into being happy. Every morning before I leave for work, I zip tie my hands and feet together in my own bathroom. This is very scary and stressful. Once I get out, my ordinary depressing life feels incredible because I'm just happy I'm not still tied up in the bathroom.
This guy is so funny because obviously this is very bad advice, but I love that it's so over the top bad advice. Like obviously we're not going to tie ourselves up in the bathroom, but the idea of tricking our brains to be happy is actually a really good idea because the brain doesn't know if something is real or imagined. And if you want to have a good day, you can actually imagine good things happening and your brain will think, oh, good things are happening, and start flooding your body with those feel-good chemicals, and you will actually have a better, happier day. So I love what he's doing by making his advice so bad that it's obvious that the opposite of something like that is probably the truth.
A good relationship has to be a little bad. Have you ever dated someone who was nice all the time and that made you lose interest? That's because it didn't feel nice, it just felt like nothing because you weren't traveling any emotional distance that would give you a scale for how nice it actually was. This is a very small rock I found. Just kidding. It's big, but you wouldn't have known that without this quarter, which gives you perspective. Let's say I surprise my partner with flowers and this lifts their mood from normal to happy. That's fine. But if I send them a scary text that says, can we talk when you get home, and then surprise them with flowers, it feels euphoric to them because they travel double the emotional distance. Try this out for yourself and see how much it improves relationship.
It's interesting because it's not untrue, right? It's not that a relationship has to be a little bad in order for us to notice that it's good. But if we look back in our past experiences, the relationships that we choose now are usually based on what we learned from past relationships. And we can say, hey, I love you so much because you do this differently than what I had before. So again, there's a lot of truth here, even though we obviously don't want to manipulate our relationships to make somebody feel bad or worried or scared just to surprise them with flowers. So it's really interesting. I love what he's doing on his channel where he's really creating this enormous gap between what is going on and ways to perceive it.
How to deal with negative thoughts. Every time you have a negative thought, put it on a piece of paper and hang it up. If you take the thought and turn it into a physical object, you're
such a bad idea.
It's not a thought, it's just words on a piece of paper. I have this one on my bathroom mirror, and it's got a little grammar mistake there, but that allowed me to turn it into a new thought and correct the mistake. I have one on my fridge door, so when I close it, I can see it. I didn't realize when I printed it, it was going to print on 2 pieces of paper. This is just something embarrassing that I said once, and it doesn't really make sense outside of the context in which I said it, but to me, it's the most embarrassing memory I have. But it's not scary, it's just a piece of paper. Ah! I got a paper cut.
All right, so again, a really good way to play on the extremes, right? This is a really bad idea to make a list of all the bad things that people say about you and think about you and constantly reminding yourself that you're fat, ugly, not good enough, whatever it is, right? But the opposite of that is actually very true. If you are struggling with feeling like your best self or feeling loved or capable, then writing down the things that people say to you, the different compliments, the different wins, the different congratulations, over time, if you create a list of things that are reasons why you are amazing, then in those low times you can look back and go, oh yeah, maybe I'm just in a low mood right now. Maybe it doesn't define who I am. So the idea of writing it on paper is a great idea as long as you're doing the positives. And I love that he put in that little paper cut piece. He's very funny.
This is how I learned my girlfriend didn't care about me. Every time we talked on the phone, right before I hung up, I would play the sound of a woman giggling. Bye. My original goal was to make her think that I was with someone and we were making fun of her so she would crave my approval more. But every time I did it, she never said anything. And I just tried random sound effects to see if she would notice if anything was happening. And still nothing. This proved she couldn't wait to get off the phone with me as soon as she could. So I dumped her.
This dives into manipulation. Obviously, if we're in relationships where we have to manipulate the other person to get them to behave a different way or get them to show us emotions in a certain way, then it's not healthy. And I love how he's just so sarcastic with his humor. And it's really deep emotional subjects that he's making so lighthearted. I think anybody can relate to these and really see the humor and take some of the pressure off ourselves, right? As humans, we just take ourselves so seriously most of the time. So I love that he's being so silly here.
Here's how I found out my girlfriend didn't love me. There was a tiny picture of the two of us hanging on the fridge. So I took it in Photoshop and every week replaced it with a version where she was less and less visible until eventually it was just a picture of me. She never noticed. This proved that subconsciously she didn't care that she was slowly losing me, and I dumped her.
What's so funny about this is throughout our lives, whether it's romantic relationships, friendships, coworkers, we make things up in our minds and we subconsciously look for reasons to prove that we're right. So while this video is a very funny, lighthearted thing, it's actually based in a lot of fact. If you have a belief system that says that you're not lovable or that somebody doesn't want to be with you, your subconscious mind will look for reasons to prove that that's true. And it's so funny that he created this very amazing way to illustrate what that looks like. And he actually created a self-fulfilling prophecy. And we do that in our lives all the time. If I have a belief that I'm not lovable, people who are unlovable people are going to come into my life and treat me in unloving ways. And the opposite is true, right? If I have a belief that I am lovable, then people who are loving in their hearts are going to be attracted to me. We're going to connect and we're going to have very loving friendships and interactions.
Here's how I trained my partner to never cheat on me. First, I recorded the sound of me coming home and unlocking the door to our apartment. Then I said I accidentally broke the TV and it didn't work, when actually the TV was playing a video I had made of a picture of a broken TV screen with the sound of me unlocking the door occurring at random times. This way, while I was at work, it would sound like I was unexpectedly coming home. My partner was conditioned to always feel like I could show up at any time.
I love that. He's like, let's trigger some cortisol and adrenaline to get her to not cheat on me. And again, the opposite is true. That opening the door and that squeaking sound could be the sound of, oh, my partner's home. It's just so funny. He's doing such a great job on this channel, just really showing the back and forth of things that are very true and really real and very abstract, and making fun of it, making light of it.
I want to talk to your crush. Mute a romantic movie every time one of the characters in the couple talks so you can come up with something to say yourself.
I just want to be alone with you.
Sounds good.
Maybe they're bad influence.
No. If you do this with enough movies, you'll be perfect relationship material because you'll have practice for every possible scenario.
What else could I say about this guy? He is brilliant. Yeah, I'm speechless.
Did your loved ones notice the difference between a text you sent and a text a kidnapper sent pretending to be you? Think of who you would rely on if you went missing and send them a text with small stylistic differences compared to how you would normally text them. For instance, I've never called my dad Pops and I've never said the word bro in my entire life. You want to pepper in these little red flags to see if they know you well enough to get a hunch that something's wrong. Human beings do not need love. Love is a highly addictive drug that society has normalized. Like any other drug, being in love releases dopamine, so when we stop taking it, we experience withdrawal symptoms. Can you think of a time when your partner slowly grew more and more distant and strung you along until they eventually felt nothing? Your partner was actually doing the right thing. It's called tapering. Take smaller and smaller doses, allowing your brain to adjust. This is why every breakup feels like there's one person who's devastated and the other couldn't care less. One of them got proper addiction therapy. Maybe they even cheated on you or found someone else to make the breakup easier. This is also technically the right thing to do. It's another form of addiction therapy where you receive therapeutic doses of a different drug. The best thing we can do for ourselves is completely detox from love and live a life of sobriety. The cravings may never go away, and you'll probably have to change your lifestyle to avoid triggers. But over time, you will develop the fortitude to live your life without the drug and find that the rest of your life becomes all the more meaningful.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So love as a drug. Yes. And it's so funny because he's saying, yeah, we don't need it. It's an addiction. People get hurt. And yet that's the beauty of having this human experience on earth, right? Is that we get to love, we get to have the heartache, we get to learn about ourselves, we get to learn about others, we get to learn about our place in the world. And I love how he's very sarcastically poking at this thing, saying, oh yeah, you don't need love, because if you get it, you're just gonna get hurt. And it is true, one person usually ends up more hurt than the other one right now. But as we continue to evolve as humans, my hope is that we can get to a place where when we do break up, we can say, hey, this isn't working for me and this isn't working for you. And both partners can say, yeah, thanks for this amazing, beautiful time we had together, and part ways and not feel bad. But until then, yes, love is a highly addictive, good feeling, and cheers to us on planet Earth for getting to experience the depth of all of our emotions. Thank you so much for joining and laughing along today. I'm Shannon Ray. This has been your Ray of Sunshine, and I invite you to watch the next video, The Crazy Hot Matrix. See you there.